Zodiac signs that see through people. There are people who cannot be deceived. They do not believe words, they read the essence. They are not misled by a smile or a confident tone, because they feel the truth at the energy level. This is not intuition, it is a gift. Today you will learn which zodiac signs have the ability to see through a person. They recognize fear behind courage, pain behind a smile, and lies disguised as sincerity. Their strength is in deep inner knowledge. They feel the vibrations of someone else's state, even if you try to hide everything under a mask. These signs are natural empaths, energy scanners who do not need a conversation to understand the essence. Stay until the end to find out who is on this list. Perhaps your sign has this unique ability. Subscribe to the channel if you want to better understand not only your character, but also the energy flows between people. And in the comments, write who from your circle really feels everything without words. Let's check if knowledge of astrology will work right now. The first sign is Gemini. Geminis have an instant ability to detect changes in a person's behavior and tone. They notice how the intonation has changed, when the interlocutor suddenly began to speak more quietly, incoherently, how he looked away or began to use different words. Their perception is not tied to logic. It is an intuitive processing of a huge number of microsignals that are invisible to others. They hear what is not said, and they see the essence behind any social mask. It is Geminis who can instantly determine a person is lying, worried, hiding something, or simply saying something other than what he thinks. This is not suspicion, but a natural sensitivity to energy vibrations. They do not try to expose, but inside they have already understood everything. Their attention is scattered only externally. In fact, they read every movement. Even a brief eye contact can tell them more than an hour-long confession. If someone thinks that they can charm Geminis with empty compliments, they are wrong. Their perception instantly separates the real from the false. They feel when someone is trying to please or feigning emotions. They are not touched by superficial phrases, because they understand the true motivation. At the same time, they do not confront, do not point out directly, they simply distance themselves. Because they know that a person is lying, to themselves, to others, and to them. Geminis do not have illusions. They can maintain a conversation, even smile, but at the same time be internally absolutely calm and accurate in assessing what is happening. Their mind is sharp, but not dry. It works in conjunction with an internal scanner, which instantly assesses the situation, who is sincere here, who is disingenuous, who is dangerous, and who requires protection. And that is why they often act without error. When Geminis enter a room, they instantly grasp the general emotional background. They do not need to ask what happened, they already know. They feel internal tension, falseness in the voice, a fake smile. Their strength is that they can recognize what is not said. They do not trust words, only feelings. And it is these feelings that allow him to see right through people, even if they know how to hide their emotions behind masks. The second sign is Aries. Aries sees people without embellishment, not because they are looking for deception, but because their energy recognition is instantly triggered. They feel falsehood with their skin, hear lies in the timbre, see fear or irritation in the movement of their shoulders. Their perception is extremely heightened for the truth. If someone nearby says something different from what they feel, Aries reacts instantly. This is not suspicion, but an internal filter that cuts off everything insincere even before the mind turns on. A representative of this sign will not tolerate artificial manifestations. If someone nearby behaves ostentatiously, tries to manipulate emotions, pretend to be someone they're not, Aries immediately considers this. Their perception bypasses logic. He may not know the details, but he always feels, this person cannot be trusted. His energy instantly recognizes falsehood. Even if he is outwardly calm, a reaction has already formed inside. Aries do not forgive betrayal not only because it hurts, but because they almost always feel its approach in advance. Their body becomes tense, their inner voice becomes louder, They lose interest in the person who is hiding the truth. They have not yet received proof, but they already feel an energy shift. And they are almost always right. In an argument or discussion, Aries sees where the real emotion is, and where an attempt at manipulation. He instantly determines who speaks from the heart, and who uses phrases for the sake of an advantageous position. His irritation is often caused precisely by attempts to pass off the false as genuine. Because Aries perceives the truth as the norm, and falsehood as a violation, he does not analyze, he feels. And when he refuses to communicate or abruptly changes his attitude, the reason is not a whim, but that he has read the person. Seeing through lies is natural for him. He doesn't need a long conversation to understand who he's dealing with. One conversation, one touch, one look, and everything is clear. The third sign is Virgo. The focus of Virgo's attention is always on details that elude most people. But her strength is not in logic at all. It is in the ability to scan a person from the first second. External smiles, feigned politeness, masks borrowed from society, all this is transparent to Virgo. She instantly detects falsehood, even if the interlocutor has been training his persuasiveness for years. Reading does not occur through the eyes or through intuition. It is a mechanism of analysis built into the consciousness, based on millions of imperceptible signals. Microgestures, pauses, tone, breathing rhythm. Everything is recorded and instantly adds up to a complete picture of true intentions. The interlocutor can say the right words, demonstrate care or participation, but if there is no sincerity behind it, Virgo will not feel the warmth. This is not suspicion, but absolute accuracy. She never confuses anxiety with excitement, pity with manipulation, enthusiasm with calculation. In her perception, everything is laid out on shelves, and lies always stand out like fake fabric on a blank canvas. Attempts to mislead Virgo end ingloriously. Her gaze is able to lay out in layers what a person would like to hide even from himself. The most surprising thing is that she does not always interfere. Seeing internal conflicts, double standards or internal weaknesses, Virgo can remain silent. Her task is not to expose, but to understand. Her insight is a tool for navigating in a world where much is presented with distortion. She uses her perception to avoid traps, recognize the true value of people and quickly navigate critical situations. Her judgments are almost never wrong, and this is not a matter of luck. It is a cold, clear, subtle analysis, combined with rare sensitivity. Virgo reads tension even before a person realizes it. She sees the blur in the eyes, catches the tremor in the voice, feels when someone is holding back anger or hiding disappointment. You can't fool her with words, because the body speaks louder. Emotions are not an abstraction for her. She sees them as clearly as she sees colors, objects, numbers. Sometimes her precision scares others, and they try to fence themselves off, hide, turn away. But even silence speaks. Even an absent look betrays tension. Even the habit of scratching her nose is a sign of internal discomfort, and she knows it. Virgo uses her insight not to judge, but to understand. She does not follow emotions, does not dramatize, does not make hasty conclusions. Her mind is cold, calculating, but at the same time she always sees a person as a whole. Not by actions, but by the structure of the personality. If someone is smiling, but inside he is tired, she will come up and say something precise that will instantly get to the point. Sometimes her words are disarming. Sometimes, they make you feel anxious. But most often, they command respect. Because with her you don't have to pretend. Her strength is in the ability to see what others hide. Her gift is in the ability to distinguish between the real and the fake. And if she stays close, it means that the person has passed her invisible scanner for authenticity. The fourth sign is Libra. Libras have a very precise internal radar that detects any fluctuations in the energy of those around them. This is not intuition or a psychological skill. It is an innate system of tuning into emotional frequencies. They instantly detect a shift in tone, a change in breathing, a vibration in the voice. Even if a person carefully hides their condition, Libra feels it through the atmosphere, like skin. Their ability to see does not require effort. It is a background process that never turns off. At first glance, Libra can determine whether a person is comfortable around them, or if they are forced to communicate. They notice when someone is irritated, although they do not show it. They catch signals that others do not perceive, even if it is just a frozen look or a changed blink rate. Reading occurs on several levels at once, and most importantly, Libra knows how to interpret it. They do not just feel that something is wrong, they understand what exactly and why. This sign is particularly sensitive to insincerity, masks, attempts to flatter, social roles, games. All this makes Libra feel false. And they do not tolerate falsehood even in small things. A person can say nice things, but if there is a benefit behind it, Libra will feel it. They can continue to communicate politely, but inside there will already be a cold alienation. Because deception, even veiled, causes internal rejection in them, Libra always scans the space for tension. Even if everything in the room is outwardly calm, they will notice who is nervous, who holds a grudge, who does not want to be here. They notice when someone forces themselves to smile, when there is a forced cheerfulness in their voice. And this is what makes them invaluable in any group. They are informal balances. They feel where the conflict is growing, who is participating in it and how it can be avoided without bringing it to an explosion. Among all the signs, Libra is a master of seeing emotions in transitional states. They catch the moment when joy begins to fade, when excitement gives way to tension, when calm becomes detachment. Their sensitivity is not a weakness, but a tool of high precision. Therefore, it is impossible to impose someone else's point of view on them or manipulate through emotions. They immediately understand who is playing the role of a victim, and who is really suffering. Who is trying to evoke sympathy, and who really needs help. Who is smiling, but in fact is ready to break down. Libra may not say anything out loud, but the person next to them will feel that he has been found out. This happens not because of looks or words, but because of the state. Libra creates an environment in which it is difficult to lie. They are like a mirror. They return people to their own state. Not to condemn, not for conflict, but to remind. It is easier to be real than to seem. That is why next to Libra you want to be real, not a mask, not an image, not a role, but yourself. Because only then can you feel their approval, their warmth, their respect. And only then do they truly open up in response. The fifth sign is Taurus. Taurus does not rush to conclusions, but this is what makes his perception especially accurate. He observes, listens, feels the background, and then makes an internal verdict. His intuition is built not on emotions, but on deep energy. He knows when there is a sincere person next to him, and when someone smiles only for the sake of benefit. Even if the words sound correct, and the gestures are precise, Taurus feels the vibration of untruth. He feels tension in the voice, too thoughtful pauses, artificial laughter. His perception is like a filter. He does not allow anything inside that contradicts his inner feeling. And if someone lies, he will not necessarily say it directly, but he will remember, close himself off, move away. And he will never allow this person to get closer. Taurus does not look for deception, he simply does not fall for it. His body and mind are tuned to internal harmony, and any insincerity is felt by him as an imbalance. He can be in a company where everyone is smiling, but he will immediately point out who is lying. This is not a guess, it is a physical sensation. As if pressure appears inside, a signal, be careful, there is falsehood here. He can also feel when a person is feeling bad, even if he hides his emotions. He will notice a changed posture, unnatural facial expressions, an unfocused look. And if he decides that someone nearby is suffering, he will gently approach, give support, without asking for words. Because he feels that it is necessary. His reading concerns not only lies, but also pain. In business, negotiations, friendship, Taurus relies only on his sense of truth. He cannot be convinced by words if feelings say otherwise. He trusts only what resonates with inner stability, and therefore his environment is often surprised. How did he so accurately determine who cannot be trusted? The answer is simple. He does not believe. He knows.